Hello, my name is Conrad and I will be your host today for Pizza Dough Demonstration. This video is being made exclusively for SRJC Culinary Intro to Baking at the request of Chef Jim Kaysen. We are going to go ahead and do a hand mix of the dough. We will show you how to knead the dough, portion the dough, and shape it. Then we will look at stretching techniques that allow us to create that final wonderful shape of a pizza. And welcome back. We're going to go ahead and get to our mixing. Okay, so we've got this tarred out. Let's go ahead and put in 2 pounds and 6 ounces. We're going to add in our other dry ingredients directly and the salt. I'm going to mix these together just nice and light just to get them combined. Here comes the oil. That's 24 ounces or 1 pound 8 ounces. Now we're going to take this and we're going to move the bowl slowly. Use the fork as I am, going down to the bottom and coming back up. And start to press the fork through the flour. That's about as far as we're going to be able to go with a fork. Now we need our other hero, which is going to be the plastic bench scraper. It has the rounded edge, which matches, conforms the bowl. Everything in the bowl goes straight back in. Very little waste. Now let's turn and cut. I'm turning and cutting, and I'm coming to what's more of a cohesive ball of dough. And we can remove this onto our bench and get to kneading. Now, what is kneading? Kneading is creating the internal structure of bread. Like if we had built a building and it has a lattice structure, an internal structure, that is what gluten is. We're going to go ahead and show you how to manually knead. It's a little bit sticky on the outside, so I'm going to put some bread flour on it. Bench flour. I'm going to take one end of my dough mass and I'm going to fold it back into itself and I'm going to press down. I'm going to do that again and again, and I'm not pressing down that hard, you'll notice. And I want to maintain this easiness. If it becomes sticky, I'm going to add in a little bench flour. So how do I know when I've kneaded enough? The Windowpane Test. All right, that means to take enough of this dough, a very good amount. Now I want to create a window as thin as I possibly can. As I come along, now, if that window breaks so easily like that, okay, then I don't have strong enough gluten. It's going to take, with this dough, yeah, probably about 5 minutes. It's just tacky is what we call it. And that is perfect. Oh, that's great. Can I create a window? Window. Oh, yeah. And there we go. As you can see, I can press quite a bit on this. And now I have a nice big window with no tears. She's ready to go. There's that same bowl that we used. So we can put a sheen of a little bit of oil on here. This is some spray oil that I'm going to rub on here. All right, we're going to go ahead and let this double in size. We'll see you soon. I'm going to show you what it looks like when the bread is proofing when it's not ready. Make sure it's your finger is not wet and won't stick to the dough. Lightly tap it. That's a good one. Another good one. Do you see how fast that springs back? That means there's a good amount of gas still being generated. This is not ready yet. Okay, it is about a half hour later, and the dough is looking quite a bit different. Go down here and just tap on things a little more. Now you can see that there is spring back, but it holds much longer in. All right. Comes out as one whole, just like that, since we had a little oil in there. Let's portion our dough off. Take a piece. See where 7 ounces is. Okay. I'm going to take that piece, sloppy like that, and put it aside. And I'm going to try and just mimic that. But now let's learn about rolling. First of all, clear out your surface. Too much flour will mean that when you try and roll, you will actually slide all around. What I need is a little bit of traction. I don't want things to stick, but I need things to stick enough so that I can get a little grip. And the goal here is to go ahead and do a circular motion until this dough is combined, the air is expelled out of it, the CO2 is expelled out of it, and you have a nice even ball, which is easier to make a flat pizza from, a nice round ball. All right, we're going to gather this in our hand and start moving with the palm of your hand and moving around in a circle. Now watch, the dough is sticking slightly to the surface. I close my fingers in. Keep turning, it's tacky. Keep turning. I can hear the air popping out. Close your hands some more.
And what do you end up with? A beautiful ball. All right. Now, use always your third hand. Take this ball, and that's just what we're looking for. So let's take 2 pieces of dough. I'm going to do the same thing. Put the sides of my hands down on the table, take into my fingers, all right, and start making circular motions. Let the table do the work. Okay, here I am, turning circles again. Just cupping my hands. I can see the air bubbles coming out. Just turning my hands, continuing this motion. Starting to close my hands. You can hear the gases come out. Close your hands, close your hands. See where my fingers end up. Right? 2 balls. Here we go. Turn and burn. Turn and squeeze. You see my fingers going in and out. Squeeze, in and out. Squeeze, squeeze. Turn, turn, turn. And the table does the work for you. All right, let's take a look at them now. It's been about 45 minutes. Yes. All right, now when I press my finger in there, you see there's very little bounciness. I'm going to show you a couple of starter techniques. In case I really don't want any friction at all. Now remember, this dough has always been sitting here, so I never just want to pick it up because it'll stick. See that? So instead, always take your third hand. Now I'm going to put it upside down, give it a little more flour. I'm going to hit that air out. Put all that air in there. Okay, I'll flip it over again. I hit some more of that air out, and I'm creating, as you can see with my fingers, I'm flattening out a spot in the middle of this circle. Now I'm going to bring it over to a well-floured area. I'm going to use these portions of my hands to move it around and create a larger disc. So let's put our hands in the center well, start to press out as we're turning. Press out, turn, press out, turn. And you can see, in order for this to work, there has to be no friction. You have to be able to move very quickly. Just using the insides, I can now use my outer fingers too. And see how my fingers, the way I move my hands out, that is going to further create a larger disc. Put this aside. All right, when you're working with pizza like this, it's a very good idea to do things in batches. That will relax, and when we come back to it, it will stretch out even larger. There's a lot of ways we can get from this size to the next size up. One of the easiest is to use gravity as our friend. So making sure that your hands aren't sticking, all right, pick the dough up into your hands and put it onto your palms, onto your fingers. And now start to lift it, let it fall. You can see where my hands are underneath. I'm basically acting like a human bowl. Gravity is going to the outside of my fingers, and that is stretching, you see that? So this is actually forming itself, not having to do any work. So I'll put it down back, and it's already quite a bit larger. Another great technique is simply to pick up the outside of the crust and go in a circle. And lift and turn, and lift and turn. All right, you notice my fingers are here, they're moving along the dough, lift and turn to all on the outside. And as I do this, I'm doing a better job to stretch out the rest of the dough. Okay, so a combination of these techniques is very handy. We could actually also show you how to flip a pizza of this small. Flipping it in the air is a bit silly, but it's also kind of fun. You want to do that, again, you're going to pick it up and into your hands, let it rest, and now with a motion that is basically cocking up a spring and then releasing it. Okay, so we cock up the spring and then release it. As we do, we go up with it. Okay, we turn, up and turn, and then catch it again. The more of a spring you make, the better the turn you get. Now catch it, lay it back down. So you got some stretch out of that. Don't put too much flour. You don't want the bottom to taste chalky or anything. This all just comes to a matter of technique. Then simply guide it along and pull it up and onto your peel. Beautiful. You see, after a while, use a combination of all these techniques, and it's just fine. It's about touching and feeling the dough. Always make sure to tap your peel, move your pizza. Always check, are you having issue? Can you still move the pizza? That's important. Once you put the ingredients on, maybe you had a hole here and the tomato went through. And if you wait until the last minute and you put that pizza in, got a good chance of ruining your whole pizza. That is worth burning your mouth. Oh, wow. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and good luck in all your future pizza endeavors.